Hi, welcome to Left Foot Media. My name is Brendan Malone. Well, I thought I would do a quick and dirty webcam review of the movie Annihilation. This is the brand new Alex Garland Netflix original film. I've literally just shut down Netflix, and so I thought I'd get out the computer and the microphone and give you my thoughts about the film. Visually, it is really something quite stunning. It is something quite beautiful to look at, particularly the second half of the film. The sound design on this film is really something, again, quite spectacular. Now, this is written by Alex Garland based on a novel that he didn't write. He wrote it, the screenplay for this, and directed by him. Now, a lot of people raved about Ex Machina. Me personally, I didn't really rate Ex Machina that highly, but I really liked Annihilation. There's a lot in Annihilation. It's almost like a bit of a slow burn. It really builds to a crescendo by the end of the film. Some people I know are not going to like it. If you're looking for perhaps a big shoot 'em up type sci-fi experience, this is not really for you. If you're looking for something that wraps everything in a nice, neat little bow, this is probably not for you. This is definitely sci-fi that, if whether or not it succeeds, I'm not entirely sure, but it definitely wants to make you think more deeply about issues, and there's a lot of layers and a lot of metaphor in this film. There's most certainly a metaphor for the whole idea of, I think, creation. There's definitely things that you can point to which would seem to be very similar to the Judeo-Christian narrative around creation and the Garden of Eden and things like that from the book of Genesis. So that definitely seems to be something that has been drawn on for this. And I guess the subject matter in general, and the issues around depression and fidelity and male-female relationships and things like that. It raises some sort of interesting questions. The human quest for perhaps, I don't want to say eternal life. I mean, it's certainly, there is an aspect of that with one of the characters played by Jennifer Jason Leigh, but it's a film that is raising, I think, or trying to explore certainly some big sci-fi themes. This is a film, I think, that deserves a big audience, but I'm not sure it's going to get it. It's definitely a film where Netflix have really hit one out of the park. This, to me, is probably one of the best Netflix originals. It's right up there with Beasts of No Nation. So Beasts of No Nation is sort of still, for me, the gold standard with Netflix originals. And it's interesting because just a couple of weeks ago, or maybe a week and a bit ago, Duncan Jones released his new sci-fi film on Netflix as well. And that film, Mute, which takes place in the same universe as his previous film, Moon, I don't think it was anywhere near as good. It was okay. It's okay. There's things I liked about Mute, but this new film, Annihilation, is just, it's on a whole nother level. It's just visually, sound-wise, acting, it's generally pretty good. Tessa Thompson and Gina Rodriguez, who are sort of the secondary characters, yeah, they're okay. And I have to say, Gina Rodriguez's character, I didn't quite, one of her motivations at one point I didn't quite get. There is a creature in this film which is truly quite terrifying. It's a very simple concept. I won't ruin it for you. It's a very simple concept, but it is a really terrifying concept. It's not something that I think I've ever seen before. And there is definitely a sci-fi horror angle here. There's moments of sci-fi horror. It is not a sci-fi horror though in the style of something like, say, Event Horizon. It's not full on, but there are definitely moments of sci-fi horror. And it's kind of one of the strange things about the film is it is a little bit hard to pin down because, as I said, it has moments of sci-fi horror, but it's not a sci-fi horror film. And in some ways they kind of feel a little bit odd. They make sense, I guess, in the context of the film, but they are a little bit odd when you consider the film as a whole, because it's not really where it ends up. It's much more, there's several moments of quite strong visual and horror shocks, I guess you'd call them. But that's not where the film ends up. It's a lot more subtle than that. It's a good film. It's well worth taking the time to see. As I said, I think it's one of the best things that Netflix have actually put money into. And I think that potentially this is something that I wouldn't be surprised if someone's already thinking about how they could spin off more of this universe or this concept in some way. Because there's definitely a lot more that you could explore. What I liked about it was it didn't try to give you all the answers either. Like I said, it doesn't really wrap things in a neat little bow. So if you like something that's nice and tidy and controlled, you're probably going to find this film a little bit frustrating. But if you're okay with sci-fi that explores things, that is more thematic in nature, it doesn't sort of put things in a nice square box for you. It makes you think. And at the same time, it gives you a sort of memorable experience that sits with you. I got to the end of this film. Literally, this is only about half an hour ago. And the sort of experience of it all, it's a very sort of experiential thing. It still sits with you. And I think that's the mark of good cinematic art, is that it stays with you in some way. Either the story or the way the story is told. It just hangs around that little bit longer after the actual end credits have rolled. And this film, for me anyway, it certainly did it. If you're a fan of sci-fi, if you like deeper, more well thought out sci-fi that asks the big questions, you don't like things in a nice neat little bow, you're not looking for a sort of shoot 'em up type sci-fi action film, then this is definitely something worth watching. How would I rate it? I'd out of 5 stars, I would maybe give it 3.5, 4 stars. And as I said, I'd say it's one of the best things that Netflix has made. As per usual, I'd love to know your thoughts. If you've seen it, please let me know in the comment section below. What do you think? Did you like it? Did you not like it? Were there things that you thought were good and things that you thought were bad? Please let me know in the comment section below. If you like the content I'm making and you'd like to see more of it, then please support me on Patreon. There is a link in the description below, and there'll be a link on screen at the end of this video. Thanks for watching, and by the way, I'm going to try and do more of these quick and dirty webcam videos if I can, just reviewing movies as they come out. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time on Left Foot Media.